Welcome to the Berean Remnant. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Mauser. Today, what I want to talk to you about is I'm going to do a book review of a book by Phillip E. Johnson, Defeating Darwinism by Opening Minds. And this book means a lot to me in that it helped me see some of the scientific and philosophical assumptions that Darwinists were making, and it helped me to see that in fact, you don't have to buy into Darwinism in order to be a top-tier scientist. So my bachelor's degree is in science, and I came to believe that Christianity was true by studying some of the arguments in support of intelligent design, in support of creation, and against Darwinism. And so this book went really far in exposing some of that, and I think it's one of the best books. So this is the book I would recommend for probably high schoolers, for if you're going to teach a youth group session on really studying what is it that Darwinism teaches and what's wrong with it. This is the book I would recommend, Phillip E. Johnson. Phillip Johnson, he basically helped organize some of the rebuttal to a lot of popular Darwinian arguments that they were giving. He was born June 18th, 1840, and he was an American legal scholar, but he wrote two books before this, Defeating Darwinism by Opening Minds. His first one was Darwin on Trial, and there he examined the scientific evidence for Darwinism. And his next book was Reason and the Balance, and there he looked at the educational and philosophical arguments for Darwinism and showed what was lacking there. He realized after writing these first two books that he needed something that was more of an introductory text for youth groups, for teachers that want to introduce this material to their high school classes, and to show that there's a lot of philosophical assumptions that Darwinists make that are not scientific. And so he was a professor of law school at UC Berkeley for more than 30 years. So his teaching taught him how to analyze arguments, and he taught lawyers how to do this. And then he thought, as he was listening to the debate between Darwinists and those who were purporting an intelligent designer, he thought, okay, it actually seems like there's some fallacious reasoning going on with the Darwinists. And so let me look at the evidence. What he basically tries to establish as part of his theory, and it was this strategy that a lot of the guys in the intelligent design movement used going forward, was basically purporting that we needed to put a wedge in between the arguments, and it's like you would use a wedge to split a log or something. And if there's just a little crack there, and you stuck the wedge in, it would make the crack much bigger. And what he wanted to do is he wanted to put a wedge in the discussion where people basically said, if you don't believe in Darwinism, you don't believe in science. And there's a lot of scientists who are top-tier scientists who are at the top of their game. They're writing papers that are peer-reviewed. They got their PhD going through the entire secular system, and they don't believe in Darwinism. And part of the reason is Darwinism is a philosophical theory. And what I think he does really well is he makes clear that though we use the term evolution, even the most rock rib Bible fundamentalist is going to believe in microevolution. Like there's different breeds of dogs, there's small changes that happen within a species. But what you don't get as a result of that are the large changes that Darwinism requires. And his idea of the wedge is rather than, and I remember meeting him in Nashville, Tennessee at a church. This was 2001. He was speaking at a church there. And I went after and I said, if you just had to summarize this really quickly, what would you say? And he said, really just basically, rather than starting with Genesis 1:1 with this debate and needing to defend every nook and cranny of our creation account, John 1:1 is a better starting point. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And basically, there's a whole lot of specified complexity, a whole lot of information, basically, that you find at the cellular level that Darwinists can't account for. There's no scientific theory that accounts for this. And I thought that was just brilliant, just a brilliant analysis, a great starting point. So I highly recommend it. It's very accessible. Defeating Darwinism by Opening Minds. Pick it up. And though he's now with the Lord, hopefully we continue to imbibe some of the great thoughts that Philip Johnson made. And one of the other best insights, other than starting with John 1:1 rather than Genesis 1:1, I would say that it's not a debate about the age of the earth when you're arguing in favor of the fact that there's intelligent design everywhere. It's not about that. It's not about how old is the earth. Now, that is a debate that you could still have. It's not that that's not important, but that's not the intelligent design debate, whether there's evidence for intelligent design. And so I like this brilliant insight that I think could encourage us all. So all the cellular information for your DNA that tells your body how to develop, where did that come from? There's no mindless processes that can create the designs that you see in nature. It had to be a divine mind that gave all the life we see that surrounds us. And so this is one of the books I would highly recommend, Defeating Darwinism by Opening Minds. I hope you have a great day.